kerosene lamps, horse and buggies, and outhouses. They're all things that we would never use in our lives, but are pretty essential to someone who's part of the Amish culture. Everybody's heard of the Amish as the anti-technology group of people who lives on farms like it's 1800. But there's a lot more to the culture than meets the eye. And Fidel and I, neither of us have first-hand experience with Amish people, but through research we prepared this introduction to the Amish. And although the Amish may seem like just a group of outsiders, we'd like to argue that they're a lot more interesting than what's seen at first glance. So today we prepared a presentation outlining the origin, different subgroups, general lifestyle and religious practices of the Amish. And first and foremost, when it comes to understanding the Amish, it's important to understand the origin. So David Weaver Zurcher, a historian with Johns Hopkins University in 2001, stated that the origin of the Amish culture ties back to the Protestant Reformation in 1525. And the Protestant Reformation was a movement to reform the Catholic Church because of corruption in the leadership. And this reform led to different groups of Christianity known as denominations. And the main denomination that we'll be talking about today is the Anabaptists, because they were the precursor to the Amish. So the Anabaptists are marked by their beliefs in baptism. And baptism is the ritual of sprinkling water over someone's head or dunking them in water to symbolize rebirth and purification and often like acceptance into the church. So the Anabaptist belief in baptism is that it's only a valid baptism if it's an adult candidate who chose to be baptized, which is different than the Catholic Church and other denominations where they baptize infants. And this is what separates them. This is the most like marked difference between them. So where the Amish come from, the Anabaptists, is from the leader Jacob Ammon. He made a series of changes to reform or to revitalize the Anabaptist church, such as washing each other's feet during communion, controlling what the members wore and how long the men's beards were, and then he only taught the Bible in German and Dutch. And these changes led to a separation between Ammon and his followers, and they became known as the Amish after Jacob Ammon. So now that I've explained the origin of the Amish culture, I'm going to go into a couple of subgroups that have developed over time. And over the years, a couple of these groups have been distinguished by different practices and beliefs. And the first of which is the Old Order Amish. And these are the most traditional, which means they followed the teachings and practices of Jacob Ammon the closest. And they controlled what the members wear, how long the men's beards are. They shun the use of technology. And they have strict excommunication rules if you break any of the other rules. Next is the New Order Amish, and they're similar in their social restrictions on the members, but they have different views on technology. So socially, they still require the members to wear like customary dress and how long the beards are, and they have restrictions on alcohol and tobacco use. But in contrast to the Old Order, the New Order lets their members use phones and travel by airplane and car on occasion, which both would have been outlawed or prohibited by the Old Order. And then finally, there are the Amish Mennonites. And according to David Craybill in his book, The Amish, in 2013, this group of people originated as Amish, and then they deviated from the traditions in the 1800s and adopted practices more similar to the Mennonites. And then over time, they lost their Amish identity and just began identifying as Mennonites. So now that I've talked about the origin of the Amish and different subgroups, we're going to move on to discussing the general lifestyle and religious practices of the Amish.
Since the Amish have restricted use of technology, their lives are pretty different from ours. But one of the values of the Amish is family. Family is important to Amish. Generally, Amish families tend to have lots of children, and then different from like what we believe, they strongly believe in gender roles. The husband is generally the breadwinner, and he works all day. The wife takes care of the children, and then the children themselves, they either do chores around the house or they take care of the siblings. Housing also differs from community to community. In an interview conducted by Nat in 2017, our expert, Craybill, said that some Amish communities have changed to state-of-the-art homes, while other communities resort to still using outhouses and other pre-modern technologies. Also, the Amish in some communities have also used technology in their farming. Some of them have used like automatic milkers and other technology also to like farm their crops. Religious practices. So the Amish are primarily Christian, and then they are strong believers of baptism. Like Isaiah said, they generally tend to be baptized when they're adult, usually between 18 and 24. And according to Stutzman in 2017, he's a member of the Amish community. When you're baptized, it's essentially being born again, and then you give yourself to God, and that's how He saves you. And shunning, you are shunned, or they generally take a lot of practice in shunning. People are shunned when they violate a rule, or they are shunned when they have not repented for a sin, or with what the Amish community considers a sin. While the Amish don't use technology like we do, they still have pretty interesting lives. The Amish, well, today we talked about the origin, their subcultures, the general lifestyle of the Amish, and also their religious practices. And then while the Amish have shunned away the use of what we call everyday necessities, they still are proud to live off the land under the reign of their own God.